some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Hello, I am not Joe McKeel, and this is not Stupid O'Clock. But I am Dan Hollifield, and this is Last Man Standing. So, without further ado, or with much ado about nothing, we will continue to attempt to entertain you and edify you in the best fashion possible. Or the Dollar General sort of way, whichever comes first. But we got Mike Jimmy drawing right now, and we've got Aunt Donna here too.
Good morning, folks.
Thesis is in the chat and has been invited to pop in if he feels so. I'd like to remind everybody tomorrow night, before this time of night, actually just tonight before this time of night, the new issue of Aphelion for June will go live, and both Thesis and Aunt Foxy will have their first stories in Aphelion, and you really need to read these. I'm serious. I was blown away. There was I just okay. So you can do more than wave swords around and look fierce, uh, which is more than can be said for myself. I can look fierce or I could wave a sword around. If I do them at the same time, it looks really ridiculous. Uh,
Oh no, it looks sexy, Dan.
oh no, I'm clumsy as all get out. I can trip over a paper clip.
You're talking to the woman who strained her knee in her sleep 3 weeks ago and couldn't walk for 3 days.
Yeah, and Dawn is still getting on to me about however it was that I hurt my neck, and do not know. For love nor money, I can't think of anything that I did that would
Didn't you
injure myself.
Didn't you
back
trip
in
over
January.
something? Didn't you
I
trip
don't
over
know.
something one day, your last day of work or something?
Well,
Or the only day you worked in January?
I did trip and fall down, but I'm good at falling down. I've had lots of practice with that in my lifetime. I'm
There you
very
go.
good at falling down without getting hurt. Um,
Hey, baby girl.
no, it's just I woke up one morning and my neck was hurting, and I have not been able to explain it. Lindsay can't remember me falling out of bed or anything.
Honestly,
Or
that was just a back pillow.
well,
But that,
I don't know.
yeah.
Um, it's a mystery, as George Carlin said one time, but he was talking about religion at the time. Um, I don't know. Um, I do know that yesterday I got my notice from Social Security that I will be getting my first Social Security check ever in my life tomorrow. And sorry, there's no need to hang around my mailbox. I'm smart. It went direct deposit. All right,
I was wondering about that.
predators. Um,
The great thing
and
about direct deposit is when they say it's going to be there, it's going to be there.
mhm. And evidently, my Medicare is retroactive to my last birthday in November last year.
Hmm.
So I now have a limited form of medical insurance. Uh, Still going to have to get something for Lindsay before she can file for her Social Security and Medicare. She's going to wait until her full benefit date.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me a second. Mac is leaving. Any other?
Oh, oh.
Take care, Mac.
Um, no, I don't remember a Doctor Hook concert story, but then I have a memory like a steel sieve.
There was one he was telling it in the other show. It was uh Doctor Hook came on as their own opening act,
That sounds like something Hook would do.
and I mean they were dressed differently. I do remember it. They were dressed differently and sang different songs than what they were known for, and got booed off the stage because everybody was there to see Doctor Hook, and they were right in front of them, and nobody realized it was them.
You think of any of them, they would have recognized. Damn, I can't remember his name, and we were just talking. Ray. I
Yeah,
mean,
Ray Hawkins. Oh,
that. I mean, the
sorry.
guy wore a patch over his eye and had a very
Raspy
crackly
voice.
voice. Yes, raspy. You can't disguise those two things.
No.
I wonder what songs they did. They're known for their ballads, which is ironic.
Uh-huh.
But some of the best songs they ever wrote are some of the okay, Freaking at the Freakers Ball, Get My Rocks Off, Girls Can Get It. They had some of the best dirty songs ever.
Yes, they did. But what they were best known for,
Were the
besides Cover the
ballads.
Rolling Stone, was
Only
Sylvia's
16,
mother.
Sylvia's mother. Only 16, they did it before Ringo did. And When You're in Love with a Beautiful Woman. All gorgeous songs. I'm sorry. I like
Did
their
the
other songs.
did the Tubes steal that one, or am I thinking that they're two different songs with very similar themes?
Since I have no idea who you're talking about, I would venture to say different song, same title, but then did their song go, when you're in love with a beautiful woman, you've got to watch your friends. Someone hangs up on you, answer the phone.
Nope, nope. The Tube song, as Mac just pointed out, she's the beauty.
Oh,
Don't fall in love with the beautiful girl. Yeah, similar themes, but totally different songs. Thank
okay.
you, Mac.
Thanks.
Um, the 70s were a long time ago, dude. Uh,
Confirmed.
I mean, seriously, I used to not like the Tubes. They were just a little too theatrical for my taste back then, because that was before I had discovered Rocky Horror Picture Show. After Rocky Horror, lots of opinions changed in my mind.
As did all of us.
Um,
This is fact.
No,
um,
I already had Hook's album of their ballads of, and yes, album, not CD back then,
mhm.
which led me to go, okay, I need to get the rest of their albums. I'm working, I can afford this now. Yeah, the second album was pretty much like the first one. Then I get the third one with Freaking at the Freakers Ball, and I'm just sitting there going, listening to these words and going, did they just sing what I thought? Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. And
And
and now
yeah,
you know why they only had two songs on the radio. Uh,
yeah,
sort of like Commando Cody and the Lost Planet Airmen only had um, Hot Rod Lincoln and Smoke That Cigarette, and that was it.
oh no, see,
You never heard from them on the radio again unless you listened to college radio.
I only know
And
Smoke That
here is
Cigarette from Jerry
Thesis.
Reed. Hi, Thesis.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Hot Rod Lincoln. Every time that song came on, everybody turned and looked at me.
Why you didn't drive a Lincoln?
No, no, I drove an Oldsmobile at that time.
Oh, a Rocket 88.
Delmont 88. And every
Yes, but
time,
Rocket 88 was the name of not only the engine but a song. Um,
well, around here, every time somebody asked me what car I drove, I'd go Delmont 88, and they'd go, oh, you mean a Delta 88, like I was some stupid woman who didn't know what kind of car I drove.
no, you can read.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can look at the emblem on the trunk as I drive off at 80 miles an hour. Um,
Oh, 80? That was just cruising.
well, no, that's the speed you change tires. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, everybody remembers what their first car was. Okay, it was technically my second car, but it was the first car that I actually was able to touch and drive. Never saw the first car.
I seem to remember that. It suddenly became non-existing before you actually got your hands on it.
Yeah, got stolen from the guy my dad was buying it for me.
Worked at a theater that showed Rocky as a midnight movie. Yes.
That must have been a good time.
Yeah. There was a crew I worked with at the factory. We were still working 8-hour shifts, and every weekend when we'd get off at 11 o'clock at night, we would drive to Atlanta either Friday or the Saturday night, usually the Friday night, and we'd get to just barely in time for the midnight movie that started at 12:30. It was a showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm.
Or if we got held up in traffic, it was the uh, if not midnight movie, the 2 o'clock in the damn morning. And try finding a parking space in a residential neighborhood off of one of the billions of streets named Peachtree in Atlanta to get to the Alhambra Theater. They were in business for many a year, and basically, Rocky Horror and several other weekend midnight movies is what kept them in business. And it was just this little rundown theater that looked almost exactly like the one in Rocky Horror at the end of the movie, except these seats were all full. Um,
Well, you've
it,
heard the story of how the Witzman dude was introduced to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
if I did, I've forgotten it.
He was
Not
not aware that
was. Hey, what's
the
up?
four of
Yeah.
us, anyway. Um, he was not aware of this movie, and he went in to use the men's room and ran into someone dressed up like Dr. Frankenfurter who was fixing his fishnet hose.
As you do. No, and uh, periodically they also showed it at a theater on the University of Georgia campus. It was part of the journalism psychology complex. And I think it was definitely a psychology complex they had this theater in. And we'd all go in costumes. Didn't have to be Rocky Horror, could be anything whatsoever. There were a lot of SCA costumes that showed up because that's what
Hmm.
my friends were into at the time. And
Sorry to hear that, Nautilus.
Yeah.
oh, good grief!
Yeah. I
Went
hope he's
missing
okay.
and he's half blind. I hope you can
Yeah.
find him.
When I was in the AOL B5 chat room, a bunch of us made plans to go to a con in Williamsburg, Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
I think that sounds right. And we decided we were going to have our own Rocky Horror Picture Show. Someone had gotten hold of the script with all the little notations about what you do when.
Oh,
And someone else said, I can get a copy to show. And we got rented a room there and had the Rocky Horror Picture Show and did all the fun things and then cleaned it up ourselves because we didn't want the hotel staff to have to go through that. But that was quite fun that weekend.
mm. Um, we didn't actually need a script. Matter of fact, at the theater in Atlanta, I actually added 2 replies to the callback to the screen moments. And the last few times I went there, I was very gratified to see that other people had picked it up and started shouting it because they thought it was this great improv line. Um, not Lowe's. I'm very sorry. Um,
No, he's making a joke. It's where did he come from? Where did he go? Cotton Eye joke. Yeah.
mm,
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. Um.
I saw this comment the moment I saw a wad of cotton.
Uh. Will. You may be sorrier in about 30 seconds.
Hmm?
So there we go.
Okay, Max says, knowing journalism and psych students, beware the
Um,
simplex, not the complex. Living with a psychologist, that is certainly true, Mac.
you accidentally banned Mac. That in the
Oh,
game. I had to ban Nutloss. He was
I'm
my
sorry.
no.
The comments jumped. I'm sorry, Mac.
It
That's
happened.
just for tonight. Um.
Yeah, it's the second time we did something like that.
Hey, the comments jump. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they
I
do.
know.
Uh.
I know, but you know I gotta tease you about it.
Well, I'm. What can I do? I make a mistake. I own up to it. Yeah, Mac. I'm very sorry. That's not a permanent ban.
We'll fix it.
Uh, I can't fix it tonight, but
Well, at least you didn't do what Nick Tucker did to Joe and Trey Bachman Wednesday night.
oh, in
Don't
hit
worry.
And the
in
stream.
stream. Yeah, seriously.
We're all sitting there
Uh,
going, what happened?
Oh no.
Yeah, he was just trying to back out, but he was on his phone. Hit the
Oh
yeah,
wrong button
no.
it turns out the leave button
on the
the
phone.
phone is entirely too close to the in stream button on the phone if you've got ops. So
And
yeah,
we all know how tech savvy poor Nikki is.
uh,
Yeah.
the Nick field is strong with Nick. Let's just say that.
Ah,
Yeah, if he was to run up against an entire horde of stormtroopers, he wouldn't even have to dodge. They'd never be able to see him, much less shoot him.
hey,
He's
Joe.
screened from technology.
Now there's an idea. Story idea: Nick versus the Terminator.
Oh, Joe says it's the same button.
Hey, Joe.
It is the same button. Oh God, uh, that explains several things.
Yeah. No. It's
Yeah, but we're still gonna tease him about it. Of course, I think Joe did the same thing to Nick on Nevermind and Furthermore one day.
definitely.
Oh,
You just had enough of BKM, right? Oh dear.
oh dear.
So how much trouble was I in Thursday night, Dan?
Excuse me.
I get up to go to the bathroom and I know the Witsman dude had gone to bed too. And I see his lights on in the hallway, which means he's in his office. And he did not have his on the air sign up. And I come in to see if he's okay. And he's talking to you. And I hear, is she awake?
Oh
Oh, just for a
yeah.
moment.
You guys work together last time.
I don't think you were in trouble at all. I mean, I think he was more worried that he'd be in trouble for being awake.
As long as he was all right. I mean,
Hey,
these things happen. You wake up in the middle of the night and you're awake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, seriously. Um, let's see, Thursday night after the shows, it was still early when I ended everything. I did remember to hit the end stream button at the right time. And then I went over to YouTube and I watched one episode of Radar Men from the Moon, which is one of my favorite Rocket Men 1940 serials, Republic serials. There are three of them. That's one I think is in the middle. I'm not sure, but I love all of those, and there's plenty of others that Republic made. Some of them are really good. Some of them were um, all right. We've got these sets and these horses rented for 2 more days. Let's do a whole 12-hour serial, and they filmed it all in like 5 minutes, like Roger Corman would do on you know, a budget of half a grilled cheese sandwich
Mm-hmm.
that they all had to share. Um, it, and I'm a sucker for the Republic serials, not only because that's part of what my parents went to the movie theater to see back when they were children, but because that's what was on TV when I got home from school.
Hmm?
And this is before Sesame Street was ever invented. So, it was that and the Officer Don and the Popeye cartoon extravaganza that he did, which was the Max Fleischer Popeye cartoon. So most of them in black and white. The really surreal ones that
Mhm.
in the 70s through 90s, you had to take acid to make them make sense.
Okay. Well, something we had been fearing was going to happen finally happened last night. We do not have graceful cats.
Oh boy.
How many stories down did they fall?
All three boys were on the railing, but
Mm,
well apart, so it wasn't nobody got pushed. It was just somebody was clumsy. Himoni slipped. He fell about 7 foot, but the only thing hurt was his pride because he'd fallen off in front of his brothers. And then today, I have a 6 foot table this way and a 4 foot table that way for an L shaped desk.
Yeah.
And silly me, I had a piece of paper that was halfway off of one of the desks, and Himoni gets up and he starts to come over, and he puts all his weight on the side of the paper that's not on the desk, and tumbles face first down to the floor. Like, okay, come here, baby. Mama love you.
I had Billy No Mates come back in the office, which is kind of rare. Um, he does it infrequently, but he wants to be petted. He wants to be paid attention to. And Lindsay has given me a tiny container of cat treats, which I'm supposed to dole out a few at a time. He is clawing his way up my leg,
Oh yeah.
waiting on that thing and I opened it up, and it's like, oh, he's going to eat the plastic lid. No, no, let me put it over here out of the way. Oh, that hurt. Uh, Dumped a bunch out in my hand and threw it on the floor, and he jumped down and started scarfing it up like it was,
Mhm.
cocaine or something. And
Isn't it funny how these cats that can jump 5, 6, 7 feet cannot jump to the top of something?
mhm,
We've got a bar stool at the end of the island down in the kitchen, and Calvin's been getting on that thing since he was 6 months old. And some days he can jump right up there. Other days he gets like this and has to pull himself up. And it's so funny. I'm gonna have to
gonna have
video.
to film it someday. Uh,
And I get this look like, oh, are you gonna help me? Hell no. You got yourself in that.
you got yourself in this mess.
You just
What
get
do,
yourself
what do
out
I
of
look
it.
like? International Rescue? Uh,
This is
Show
the
me
same
that
cat
second
that gets to the top of my 10-foot china cabinet and to take a nap. But he couldn't jump on top of the bar stool and make it in one leap.
he could, he just didn't.
Yeah.
He misses the top of the balustrade very often too. And he lives on the top of the balustrades. But yeah, sometimes he just has to claw his way up instead of jumping up there. I'm like, really, dude? There is those banisters have been polished before we ever got here. So much that the polish on it is probably 3 inches thick and not around the balustrades anymore. He has done the one thing that polish remover has not been able to do.
Strip that stuff right off.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm like, work on the white paint a little bit. I'd love to have that white paint all scratched off. Oh, if I could ever get my hands on the idiot who put white enamel paint on all of the woodwork in his house, I would.
Oh God, yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a long-term project that Lindsay and I have discussed. I'm going to get sheets of tongue groove board and cut it down to just the same level as the windowsills in the living room and stain it with probably mahogany,
Mhm.
polyurethane mahogany wood stain,
Mhm.
and put it up as um, wainscoting on the lower part of the walls. And it's not going to go halfway like real wainscoting would. It's only going to go up to the level of the uh, the picture window in the living room.
That's what
Not
we have throughout the first floor.
Yep. And
And,
believe me, it's never going to be painted white. I'll tell you that right
and,
now.
and somebody used enamel white on all that too.
No, I'm not going to do that. It's going to be a a good mahogany that shows um the paintbrush stripes to give it a pattern. I mean,
Mhm.
I've built furniture before. I know how to do this,
Yeah.
and a uh, a railing across the top, exactly level with the bottom sash shelf of the picture window.
Mm-hmm. Well, we
And
figure the idiot who painted all the white is probably the same idiot who put the white Berber carpet throughout the first floor and second floor and up both frickin' staircases.
that does not, well, I mean, maybe better traction, but white?
Molded,
On,
molded so densely that you would need an industrial vacuum cleaner to pull the dirt and stuff out of the little grooves.
oh, God.
I was so happy when we had the flood back 5 or 6 years ago, and my insurance man went,
Time to strip this out.
Hmm.
"This carpet is contiguous throughout the first floor. Would you like me to replace all of it? I, I can get rid of all this white carpet down here? Yeah, let's do that."
Yeah, don't replace it with anything. Just get rid of it.
Oh, we had to replace it because the floors had uh, those little buggies that eat wood.
Termites.
Termite, yes, termite
Oh.
damage years and years ago when they didn't fix it back then. So now it's kind of too late to fix it. So yeah, we got carpet back down on it, but it's nice, pretty. My brother-in-law called it industrial. I don't give a care. It's nice to walk on. The Berber would cut my feet. That's with the little grooves. It's nice to walk on. It's easy to vacuum. And Carl wants to strip the white railings off the staircase, and I'm like, mm, stripping white enamel paint is a pain. I've seen my parents do it. It's too hard to do, and these railings only reach up to about a little over my knees. If you're going to do something, just replace it with something that's higher. Because right now, if I get, you know how clumsy I am. If I don't even walk close to the railing when I'm out there, because I know, top heavy as I am, I'm gonna go over that sucker. So let's, if you're gonna do something, just it's gonna be cheaper. It's gonna be easier. Just replace it with taller. Taller, make that railing taller, so he didn't have to worry so much about me.
Yeah. And Joe Dog just sent me information for setting up, I believe, next week's shows.
Mhm.
Hey, um, I am the Ed McMahon for Joe Dog's Johnny Carson. So yeah, if it's got to be done, I'm able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one with ops, so yeah, um, it's okay.
Speaking of
I'm
upcoming shows, Cryptic Crunch is on, which should be on tomorrow with Willow. We haven't
yeah.
seen her. She didn't have, there wasn't a show 2 weeks ago because she was at that
She was
con.
she was at a con. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Thesis, when is your next show? It's not this weekend. It's next weekend.
Mhm. A week
Okay.
from yesterday, so it's 6 days. Yeah.
You are going to be so chuffed about tomorrow night.
Yep. I've only been counting down the days since like 52 days. So
Looking forward to reading it.
yeah, we'll see.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Like I said, I didn't have to do much editing at all. Um, Same with Foxy's story. I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to do much. Just just a hair more because Foxy was making the um, plural possessive its mistake that a lot of us
Mm,
learned in school.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
it happens.
Uh,
Uh, you
it
know,
didn't take any all I had to do is go, hey, global replace, take out
mm-hmm.
the apostrophe, and then have it go, you want to replace this one? Yeah. You want to replace this one? Yeah. You want to replace this one? No, that one's right. You want to
Hmm.
replace this one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now,
That
see, I never learned that, uh, Dan. I always learned that just ITS was possessive.
um
No. In
when,
junior high, high school, in the mid '90s, it was apostrophe is possessive.
and
Oh, see,
when I was in elementary school in the 60s and the very early 70s, the teachers decided that the apostrophe was mandatory no matter what you meant, possessive or the
but
contract
you and I were in elementary school at the same
at the
time
same time.
in the
Yep.
'60s, but
Yeah.
I never learned that. I always learned they were two
I
different things.
I think it was just something the teachers decided on to go, hey, we're going to make this simpler for us to teach
Mm-hmm.
to these Bulldog fans. And hey, they're here in a school in the South. We can't expect much brain power to come out of them. And I'm going, excuse me. I went to school in the Knoxville nuclear belt.
Mm.
I'm supposed to have a better education than you.
Well, you would think English fundamentals wouldn't change that much,
Oh yeah,
Like
no,
I said,
language moves.
but during the plague, when my adopted nephew Wyatt was home, it was decided I would be his English checker. We came that close to not making it into fourth frickin' grade.
Jeez.
There were a couple of times when they not only got me, Carl couldn't figure it out.
well, like I said, I think this was a decision made by the teachers in that school to just simplify the lesson plan and go, yeah, this is going to be our thing we're going to teach them. And they go, oh, no, you don't have to remember any difference between the possessive and the contraction. We just put the apostrophe and everything, and that'll be
Mm-hmm.
fine.
That's about how it was when I was in junior high school. It was just apostrophe everything,
Yeah.
possessive contractions, and like, well, okay, and now you just decided to change it all of a sudden? What the hell?
No, I got to college, and they go, no, no, this is wrong.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, because University of Georgia, they actually expected you to know your ass from a hole in the ground. Uh,
Mhm.
However, there were lots of writing exercises in my English classes in college that
Mm-hmm.
the teachers go, you have a very vivid imagination. I'm going to give you an A even if I don't understand what you wrote.
I got that in high school creative writing class.
Oh, there was one where they gave us just a list of random sentences to turn into a story,
Mhm.
and you could put the sentences in any order, but just to make it easier, I went in the order they were given, and I wrote a Cthulhu Mythos story using because I had been reading H.P. Lovecraft for the last year and a half before I got in that class, and I'm going, yeah, I can do something with this, and they thought it was just so imaginative, and I'm just sitting there going, and this is why I'm in remedial whatever class. Um, no, I had to take remedial math,
mm.
and they put me in a classroom full of football players.
You were
I
the
mean,
smartest one in the class, huh?
the smartest one that wasn't teaching, yeah. Um,
No,
turns out I didn't need to be in remedial math. I just didn't score that well on the SATs, and um, the people that I was taught by in my high school put notes in my permanent record that said I was slow.
mm.
Had I had dyslexia,
Mhm.
which is nowadays a very normal handicap to have. Of
Yeah.
all the handicaps anybody can have, a perceptual one
Mhm.
is very, very normal.
Mhm. You know, Cher
And
has it.
yeah, I
Deuce
mean,
has it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
she has all her scripts put on the audio to learn it from instead of reading it.
uh
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah. No, but when I took creative writing the last semester, we had to turn in a short story. It was
Hmm.
gonna be 50% of our grade for that semester.
Don't tell me you submitted a hundreds ridge.
No, I don't even know if I still have that story. But I'm willing to bet that she never wrote it and still gave me an A+ on it. That
Oh
she never
yeah.
read it because yeah, I turned in a full blown novelette because I got started and you know how it is, Dan. This is
The story ends when
you
it
get
ends.
going,
It doesn't matter how many
Mhm.
pages it takes.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
could be it could be one, it could be three, it could be 3,000.
Mhm.
And then you
Yeah.
hit that
So
one spot and just brick wall, and you're like, ah, shit.
for a short story, I turned in like a 70 to 80 page novelette.
Damn.
That
And
would have
she
been a
just
nice time to have had a camera to see Mrs. Grant's face when I turned that in.
she just weighed it and gave you a grade. Uh,
I think
And
so. Of course, uh, Teresa and I were both juniors, and the rest were sophomores. And do I want to say no? I won't say prudish. Yeah, I'll say prudish. And Teresa had much the same imagination as I did.
yeah.
And yeah, we gave her fits all year long. Uh, for example, when we did a round robin, the sophomores started it out, and they had this group going on a nice little picnic in the woods, and it got to Teresa, and she read what was written, and she looked at me, and I was next, and she said, "Are we gonna?" And I'm like, "Go for it." And it turned into
I,
a satanical ritual.
that's exactly where my mind went to. Lovely forest in the forest,
Oh yeah.
dancing, and then the devil showed up because you were stupid dancing around a friggin' campfire and summoned a demon.
Mhm.
I'm still waiting on the first submission that somebody bought one of those Ouija board throw rugs and had a
Uh,
Roomba.
Oh God.
Carl
I'm
bought those
I'm
things.
I'm waiting on that. I don't want to write it myself, but it
You ought to
it
get the
it,
Witzman dude to do that. That's right up his frickin' alley.
Shit,
it
I'll do it.
if
Do
it
it,
doesn't
Jesus.
wind up like the demon that the grandma actually accidentally summons, and he fills in for her grandson
I love
Oh
that.
that
yeah.
she
I love
really
that
missed.
story.
I love that story. If it doesn't turn out like that, the Roomba summons the demon Jeff, and
Uh,
he's all powerful, but in a very limited way. And he
well,
just,
Power, power, power.
shows up
yeah.
shows up every night for tea and biscuits. Uh,
Well,
Mhm.
at a bookstore in Peoria, Carl picked up a box of mints that had the damn Ouija board on it, and the mints
yeah,
are shaped like planchets. And I'm like, you are not bringing that into my house. I don't care if it's not quote the real thing. You are not. You still got it in the car, and I'm still waiting for that accident to happen.
Yeah, no shit.
you got
Yes,
insurance. It'll be all right. You can wait.
yes, I'm superstitious. I am a pagan. I will admit it.
So am I. I was at a goddamn birthday party when I was 13 years old at one of my neighbors' houses, and a bunch of kids pull one of those things out, and I'm like, nope, see ya. I'm out. I'm walking home.
Gone. Yeah. Thesis, tilt your camera down just a hair.
If I can.
There you go.
Yeah. Now we can see your entire chin and your shoulders.
I have to say, this is one of my favorite shows with all my bearded men.
We come in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
True, though, it really is. I started growing my facial hair, and my brother-in-law looked at me and went, I'm going to do that. Okay.
Really?
I think
I-
Carl was like 14 or 15 when he had a full blown mustache. He had to keep shit. That was the only thing his parents would let him have. And I think part of that was because his dad was gone by then.
Mm.
But yeah,
My mom has told me time and time again she hates my beard, but she's so used to me with the glasses and the mustache. If I went clean shaven, I could not shave off my mustache.
hmm
I had a girlfriend when I was at the factory in the early days. She wanted to see me with a beard, so I grew a beard and spent hours every week trimming it up, making it presentable and everything. She absolutely loved it. We split up, and I went back to the Star Trek sideburns. You know,
hmm
the
as you do.
angle from the bottom of the ears down, very and clean shaven except for the mustache. And then when we got when Lindsay and I got together and we got into steampunk, I went, "Oh, okay, mutton chops," and I got so tired of trimming the beard and on my neck and leaving the whiskers. I went, nah, I'm going back to just basically uh, when it's fancy, it's not, I think it's one step further than a Van Dyke, you know. But this is okay. I can take care of this. Joe Dog, yes, I got the email. Evidently, it is for next week. Can do that. Don't worry. Um, it's under control. Uh, you take care of business. Don't worry. I got it.
Well,
Uh,
I have seen a picture of the Ritzman dude without any facial hair, and he was informed at the time that he didn't need to have the beard, but he had to have at least the mustache because he could not afford to divorce me.
good night, Joe Dog. Um,
Take care, Joe.
oh no, believe me, I couldn't afford to divorce Lindsay either. And thank God she likes the beard. My mom still hates it, and she says, "When you gonna shave that off?" And I go, "Lindsay likes it. I mean, Mom, um, if Mama ain't happy, nobody's happy." She goes, "Yes, but I'm Mama," and I go, "Not in my household, you're not."
Yeah.
I don't think I could ever shave off my beard again. I think Luce would look at me and go, "Since when am I a cougar?"
Yeah. I did it once. I shaved everything off because I was trying a new style and wanted all of it to be the same length. And I went to go pick up my nephew from school, and he had no idea who the hell I was. Walked
Yeah.
right past me like 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
Well,
I
all girls love beards, and I can prove that because every time we go past a baby in a store, I can tell you right away whether it's a boy or a girl by the way it reacts to Carl.
yeah, yeah. Aurora too. Bearded men are cool. Yeah, just right now, but
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I want to do.
I know.
that's why he's glad it's on the other side of an ocean right now. He wants to stay married.
No, the problem isn't me. The problem is Luke.
Oh, I
You're
think
gonna have
you'd
to
let
get
me
through her first.
jerk your beard if that's all I did.
Nah, that's bad.
Hey, don't pick on him too much. He might decide that Hallowcon is too much of a threat to his marriage to show up.
No, because if I'm going, she's going too. No worries.
Hey,
She heard
and
I was coming from America. She went, "I'm going too."
I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to flirt with her and Aurora equally. Um,
I'm not a jealous guy. Yeah, no, I know better.
hey, I'm nobody to be jealous of, believe me.
Well, I think since Luce and I have kind of met and talked, especially during that 24-hour thing, that she knows I'm just flirting with you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but
There was like 2 times where she went, "Is that Donna into you?" And it's like, "Yeah, totally. She's also double my age. Honey, you're fine."
and besides,
And I'm not a cougar.
flirting is a fun pastime,
Yeah,
basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's a way it's a way to pay your respects at the same time as you really relax around people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what you got here.
I am nearly done.
Cool.
Good Lord, look at the detail.
Wow.
I know.
Just wait until the inks. This is sketchy still. And yeah, long live perspective rulers. So
Yeah.
where is it? Not sure if you can't see the like purple lines. That is just a perspective ruler. So all lines that I make are going to be in perspective. So that's
Oh,
how you make a box. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, I understand this, but I had drafting classes in college.
Yeah.
I understood that before drafting classes, which is why I was good at it, uh, even though there weren't computer-aided design programs at that time. My guitar player was going to be the first one to write a computer-aided design, a CAD program,
cool.
but before he finished his computer science classes, somebody else had already come out with them.
Mm,
He wanted to be the first one, but
so
his
close.
schooling came first,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't work. Otherwise, he'd be rich, and I'd be riding on his coattails to this day. Um, oh wow, that reminds me. I
Uh-oh.
have some. I have some architectural programs on CD-ROMs.
Ooh.
I wish would run on something besides 311.
Ah, you. Is it a DOS program?
Yeah, but
No, in that
uh,
case, you could probably get it working through DOSBox. Not
I
only that,
am,
but you should be able to find it as abandonware.
yeah, or oldversions.com or whatever. There's several
Yeah,
places that have, they are giant suppositories of knowledge, as
right. Look properly.
Leonard Nimoy once said in an outtake. Um, yeah, I need to locate those in my archive of, gee, it would be great if this wasn't old shit,
Mm,
and see if I can find an updated version that will actually run on a modern computer and B is not prohibitively expensive.
I.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you just looking to use 2D CAD? Because in that case, I've made my closet, like my bookshelf design in LibreCAD, which is completely free. It's open source.
I've got it.
Uh, yeah,
I've
there's
got it.
something like that.
I have it installed on several different computers, and it is absolutely fun, as well as open source and free.
And it's not the
Uh,
greatest. It's not the worst. You know.
yeah, but the one I was speaking of in particular, you could lay out a floor plan and then give it wall dimensions, and it will do a 3D for you. And
Ooh.
then it will do electrical wiring diagrams. All you have to do is tell it where the breaker box is
Mm.
and where every light and outlet is in the room. And it will also do plumbing, as well as tell you how many 2x4s you need for the walls, depending on whether or not they're 16-inch center or 24-inch center.
Hmm.
It was a great program. Unfortunately, it was made for Windows 3.11. There's got to be a new version out there somewhere. I'll just have to look up the name of it. And Google is my friend.
So I was going to be a I don't know the English word, but measurer and um, artist, like graphic designer
Hmm.
a housing company, um, and they fell out last minute. That was a job that I was very much looking forward to a couple of weeks ago, but alas,
Yeah,
um, it happens. I just kept myself.
I
Like they
know,
were
I
very
know.
happy about it. They just lost a customer, and they wouldn't have work for me. Done. It's what it is. Um, but yeah, they work in Floor Plan, which is a browser-based 2D and
Yeah,
3D thing that sounds like kind of what you would need. Um, but these are literally for floor plans. They're not,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I
3D
had
design.
I had several. I had one that was floor plans and landscape architecture,
Hmm.
and then this one that I would really like to have a copy of again, which was a 3D blueprint modeling,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a couple others that were just floor plans without the landscaping. Because basically my college major was interior design, and I was hoping to get a degree in that and bullshit my way into a job at an architect's. But as much as I love that, there ain't an awful lot of money in um, interior design. And I was flat out told by all three of my professors at art school
Mm-hmm.
when I was studying this stuff that, sorry, son, you're not gay enough to get into this industry.
Yeah, it's the story of every creative life.
I'm just going, well, if that's a job requirement, I guess I'm out.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then right after I ran out of money and had to drop out of school, CAD programs were everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and hell, I've still got install discs for a very big time CAD program, but it's mostly for machinery, not housing. And if I want to design machinery, most of the time I can do it in paint. Um, just,
Yeah.
I have used paint to draw blueprints for bookshelves and furniture and whatnot. It's adaptable. It's acceptable. I mean, I can go through and um, just arbitrarily draw stuff and then put in the dimensions of the raw material that is available to buy at a local hardware store and go from there. I've done it a dozen times. I built the screened in front porch that way. I built a couple of the bookshelves that way. Um, I did fuck up with one bookshelf. I made it the exact size of the wall that I wanted that I wanted to put the books. I forgot to include that it had to go through a doorway that was 2 foot shorter than the wall.
Oh yeah, and you assemble it all outside because that's easier. You got the space for it. I know exactly how it feels.
No, no, I had it all built outside,
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's where you made your mistake.
Mhm.
and I brought it in the house and I got it in the closet. And there
There's
was
no way you can prove that.
absolutely no way to angle it correctly so that it would fit from the floor to ceiling exactly where I wanted it. So I go, skill saw, you are summoned. I cut it in half. I put the
Work.
bottom I put the bottom half in. I put the top half where it did not have any hinges, but it acted like it was hinged. And popped it up against the wall and started putting screws in the studs right then.
Works.
Uh,
Works
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
yeah.
Seriously, if you ever see the bookshelf that I've got on my Facebook photographs of inside the house, if you ever see the bookshelf that has the great big silk Betty Page painting in the middle,
That's
that's
it.
the one. And believe me, if anybody ever decides to remove that sucker after I'm dead, they better have a full recharge on their drill motor and the right size uh, Phillips head screw bit to back those out, and be very wary of it going "Phoop," right in their face in two halves. Because that thing fills up the entire wall and presses the carpet down. Uh,
Hmm.
I even made allowance for the baseboard around the bottom, so the bottom shelf I actually made those a little bit deeper for books to make allowances for the baseboard trim around the wall, so it fits right up in there.
Hmm.
Um,
You know that wainscoting around the whole first floor I was telling you about?
yes.
Yeah, he had to cut out a square to put the bookshelf as far back against the wall as he could, and we still have like that much space between the bookshelf and the wall. So he came up with a very good idea. He bought extra shelf pieces and put them on the back of the shelves. And on the shorter books, he put them up closer so that this they're even with the shelf. And so now when I go to get a book, it doesn't get knocked off um, down behind the bookshelf.
Hmm.
It also helps make the bookshelf a little more sturdy.
That reminds me of um, when I had a very, very elementary entertainment center, and Lindsay goes, "I can see all the wires," and I go, "Okay."
So,
I took 600 vinyl albums off of the bottom two shelves
oh no.
and pulled it out away from the wall and put a 1/8 inch thick plywood back on it with holes drilled through for all the stereo and TV wires and everything else, and put it back on there. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, but the records still stick out 2 inches beyond the shelf." And I go, "Give me a
Yes,
minute."
dear.
So I built an entire extension to go on the damn shelves so that the records didn't stick out. So eventually we will be able to put plexiglass doors on this, so the records don't hang out into the living room. Also put trim on it and painted it up. I did a absolutely beautiful job of making it match the color scheme of the house, which is basically hunter green stuff. But having been an interior design student, I was very familiar with some of the more famous classical British furniture and decor interior designers. And I knew I would not be satisfied unless I modified that with my own color scheme. So yes, part of it matches all the hunter green stuff. Part of it is a very, very pastel. Part of it is a little bit darker, but probably could still be considered pastel. But it was 3 tones, which is very can't remember his first name, but the designer was Adam. Classical Victorian era British interior designer. Of course, Victorian era went on for a long freaking time, almost a century. But no, and I also used it on the benches that I made for the dining table that I constructed out of scrap wood. It was originally a shipping crate, but it was a shipping crate that coffins were shipped in. I got it for free for some reason. People are very reluctant to work with wood that at one time was wrapped around a coffin. Don't ask me why, but I made an octagonal table, pedestal table, and 3 sides of a bench seat to go around it. And it took me years before I ever actually stained it up and made it pretty and put trim around the outside edges of the table, and then put trim on the bench seats, and did exactly the same Adam pattern of something that matches the main theme, something that is much, much lighter, and then something that is in between the two, and paint it on there. And hey, it works. People that look at it wonder where I bought it. I'm going, no, I didn't buy it anywhere. I built this crap. It's bulletproof. I've made it. It's antique pine. You could shoot a 50 caliber Desert Eagle at it, and it would go. Sorry, nope. I ain't got no chance. It has got so many layers of polyurethane on it that it may not be fireproof, but it's damn near bulletproof. It's certainly stain proof. and the cats have not been able to claw their way through the surface. That
Give
tells
them
you something
time.
right there. If cat's claws can't go through it, it's got a few layers on it.
Hmm.
Um, oh God.
Yeah, you should have seen Carl's face the first time I put a hot pot down on my dining room table without putting a pot holder underneath it. My dad, when they, my dad had some guy put something on top of it. You could lay a burning cigarette down on it, and it would not leave a mark.
No, no.
Yes.
And
If
that's
it's coincidence,
been 40 years ago. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
They used to make countertops like that, and then they went to the style went to more plasticky things.
Mhm. Oh, you mean like our
And
refrigerators that now have plastic shelves instead of metal?
yeah, but no, this is countertops and things like
everything
um
has veneer.
That's
yeah.
okay. I'm complaining about refrigerators that have plastic shelves instead of metal.
Believe me, I do sympathize. We've got exactly that problem. Plastic shelves break
You
Yeah.
also
quickly.
can't put hot stuff in them.
No.
I
Uh,
can't leave something out to cool because I will forget it. Especially here where the kitchen's in the on the first floor northwest corner, and we after supper we go upstairs. So what I do is I'll put it we put the Coke and Sprite in their little 12 can case, and if I've got something hot I want to put in the fridge, I put it on top of that so that
okay.
I don't have to wait until it cools totally.
Yeah. Um Fortunately, our house is only one level, and believe me, if I ever designed a house to be built for myself now, it as much as I love basements and whatnot, it would still be almost exclusively living area one level. Basement, yeah, that would be fine. Storage, tornado shelter, great. Um,
Mm,
hey,
I'm
uh,
sorry, I have a 3-story stone house. I'm supposed to go down in the basement and let 3 stories of stone fall in on me. I would take my chances on the first floor.
that's why you dig a tunnel for emergencies to come up in the backyard.
I don't have a backyard.
Okay, in the front yard, on the sidewalk. Have the sidewalk split open and your elevator come out, and you go, "Leave my elevator alone."
Alone.
Oh yeah, and then the tunnel collapses and
Not if you build it right. Uh, I
uh,
am a farmer, so are you. You know how to do this.
my husband made me a townie. I don't do stuff anymore.
Mm,
I don't
you
even change the oil in my car anymore.
You still have the knowledge.
Oh, the
You have
knowledge.
not forgotten anything. Um,
Well,
Seriously.
you also have to remember too. I grew up in what was basically Tornado Alley here in Illinois.
Yes.
I ain't afraid of no tornadoes.
No, no, that's what you got the shotgun for, so you can go out on the back porch and shoot at the damn thing.
I have slept through a tornado. Oh man, my mom was so mad at popping me for sleeping.
But she's quiet. Why would I wake her up? Like,
Yeah, which goes to
Uh,
show nothing will wake me up.
there's a story from Lindsay's dad's World War II memoirs where he's sleeping on top of the tank on the outside, and they're getting bombed by Nazis. And the guys inside the tank are going, "Hey, you think we should wake Leslie up and get him to come inside?" And the other guy goes, "Why bother him? I mean, seriously, if we don't get hit, it'll not make any difference. If we do, at least he dies while he's asleep. He'll never know."
Yeah.
True. And if they get hit, who's to say that tank would have protected him?
He'd already walked out of two that blew up. I believe the first one he was the only survivor. That was the origin of the quote in the Somerton Man book that Carl used. "I love the Yanks. They didn't shoot me."
Mm.
Evidently,
That was neat.
Leslie had a tank blown up out from him. He's walking out of the burning tank with his clothes on fire, straight into the arms of an American unit. And he happened to be the only British tanker unit that wore black uniforms like the Nazi panzer crews wore. And they came about this close to just shooting him right then until they heard his voice in that soft, lilting British accent. He's standing there with his clothes on fire asking for a cigarette.
Well, you got a light. You might as well light your cigarette.
I don't need a light here. Just hold it over my shoulder for a minute. Yeah. Oh God.
Okay, Thesis. I'm reading your little thing there, and I'm going to presume that you're saying amateur under the definition of an amateur is someone who doesn't get paid, a pro is someone who does get paid, right?
Mostly, yeah.
No, all the way, okay? Especially since starting tomorrow you're going to be published.
Sometime, yeah.
Okay.
Sometime tomorrow, depending. The only thing I've got left to do is write my editorial. And the reason I leave that to the last minute is just in case there's something topical that I want to include. Most months, I could have written the damn thing in January and posted it in October, and it wouldn't make any damn difference. Sometimes there are things that happen that are so important that I have to either allude to or reference. So I've learned just wait. But no, I've got all the stories ready to go. I've got the page with the links to the stories already uploaded. I don't remember whether or not I've actually got the stories uploaded. I better do that just to make sure.
You might want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, there was a month earlier in the year where I had everything and got it all going, and I forgot to upload the damn stories. And people were calling me out on this shit. But you know, let me see if this works. I don't know whether the sound will come. My uh, 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 okay, my FTP came through the headphones rather than the speakers.
Microphone. Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't wake Lindsay up. That's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause it sounds like a railroad train um, when I fire this bugger up.
We got people coming in.
We do. Okay, I've got to do this now that y'all have alerted me that I've been stupid. Um,
No, not stupid, just busy.
Yeah, there's a difference. Also, DJ Silver, good morning, good evening ish, happy time zone. I'm sharing around, like, I'm streaming through Last Man Standing for, which is normally by Dan Hollifield. And StreamYard has this new function, so I figured let's use it. So, welcome. This is weekly on Thursdays and Sundays. So, be sure to hop on over to uh, Hallowcon on YouTube or Dan Hollifield if you want to see more of this, because it's actually a very nice, relaxed podcast. But we just talk.
yeah, really, and I'm actually still sober, so
Incredible.
which is remarkable in and of itself. Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Stories have been uploaded. All I've got to do is
Oh,
upload the stuff for tomorrow's links, which have to be put in different directories. I have to finish my editorial, which I've already gone through and go, "Phew, delete everything before the period, delete everything before the exclamation mark, and you just go, hey, it's got a spell check. All I got to do is type. Stream of consciousness will be done.
mm-hmm. If you're
And
conscious.
then, well, believe me, after this length of time, I can probably type without being conscious.
That's
I
true.
seem to have done it before, looking back over some of my manuscripts and going, I don't remember writing that. Who
yep.
who wrote? That's good. Are you sure I wrote that? Um, oh, there was a couple of things that I had works in progress that I would check the next day after I'd put in a full night of just typing stuff and typing stuff and typing stuff. And I pulled it up to read and spell check and do, minor, not going to interrupt the flow sort of edits. And I get down into the meat and potatoes of it, and I'm going, I don't remember writing that. Who wrote, who's been uploading stuff to my directories? Um, no, and it's it was never bad. Some of it needed a lot of typos being fixed, but you know that I don't know. I was really drunk at the time. Um, like I said,
One second, I gotta take a baby.
when my writing is flowing, I am in the groove. The words are hot,
Mm-hmm.
and they will not stop coming to my mind and flowing out my fingers.
Mm-hmm.
It's about um,
Well, you've got that movie going in your head, and you've got to get it down before the end comes.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. It's roughly 1,000 words an hour, which is not all that impressive. or it's 500 words per beer, which is very impressive, considering I've turned out an entire 10,000 word story in one night.
Thesis, I think you have a fan.
I saw that. Yeah. Another person who's never seen my face. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
you
you're
have a
handsome.
cute face.
I mean,
I've just been
seriously.
words on a screen on Nick's stream since, until now.
That's true.
Let's see if I can catch up here. Hurricane in the UK in 1987. Slept through that.
It's not that hard to
Probably
do,
a
is
good
it, TJ?
deal.
It's not that hard to do, is it, TJ?
Hey, it might not be my cup of tea, but it might be somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
Cuppas are different. Good day. And that inflated thesis on the. Yes, we are occasionally blessed with the presence of the tea master. Oh God!
He is.
Thought you were a drow. No, he's much worse.
You don't,
Much more dangerous.
you don't see all this hair? This is werewolf fur, buddy.
Hi, Aurora.
Hello, Aurora. Get used to us, honey, because you'll see us a lot as you grow up.
Yeah, TJ. Dan tends to get a little lost sometimes.
Yeah, you're awake again, aren't you?
His couple was referring to when Leslie asked for a ciggy.
Yep. And a cup of tea. Of course, among the tank crew, Leslie was always asked to make the tea because he did it best. With what they had, I mean, campfire or the little stove with the chemical heat. Yeah. Leslie was always the one that had to make the tea. He did spend a little bit of time in a French hospital for reconstructive surgery for the burns from walking out of the fire when the tanks blew up. But he always demanded to be sent back to his unit. He wanted to go back. Hey, there's still Nazis out there. I demand to go back. Man was a superhero, really. And then he became a priest.
Okay.
Yeah. Church of England, a curate. Of course, in between, he was an accountant for Standard Oil in Venezuela, which is where Lindsay and one of her brothers was born.
TJ, it does not surprise me to find out that English tanks have a kettle in them.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
That's like having a clean hanky with you.
For a proper cuppa, you gotta get out and build a fire. I mean, seriously. Yeah.
Not if the tank's on fire.
No, you just put the kettle on top of the tank. Yeah. No. Even American tanks have a cooker inside. The food may not be anywhere as good as the British food, but you can have tea.
Depends on what
You
kind of
can
British
have
food you're
coffee.
eating.
Bubble and squeak if you're lucky.
I gotta hop because she's starting. I know she's hungry, and I need to change some diapers, and Take care of the little girl.
Yeah, it's all
Mhm.
right. Thank you for being here for so long.
Yeah, no, I love to. It's just, being able to having to take care of her and having Moose walking around. Like,
Mm-hmm.
It's
you
all
gotta have a little
right.
privacy here and there.
It's all right. She
Mm-hmm.
comes first, and she will for a long, long time.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, she's my daughter, probably for the rest of my life.
Oh yes.
What do you mean, probably for the
And
She,
then you
And
will remain
she'll
me.
still be your daughter 3 reincarnations from now.
That's
Uh,
mm, once a daddy's girl, always a daddy's girl. Ask me.
all
And
right.
TJ,
Take care,
this
guys.
American is married to a Britisher.
mm,
Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
all right.
See you later.
You have a good morning.
Yes.
Uh, American saying your food is better. I've been to a carvery. All right. I know what good food is. I've been to a Sunday dinner at a family gathering, my wife's family, not mine. I've been to many a Sunday dinner with my family, and believe me, it's not that much different. The people of Appalachia are very British, Irish, Welsh, heavy on the Welsh. Um, it's oh Lord. Um, my wife's bubble and squeak is to die for. Toad in the hole, that ain't bad at all. Um, we try to find decent sausage for her to work with for some of the stuff. She has a um, air raid shelter, uh, sausage, potato, and onion casserole with diced tomatoes, and I beg her to make that. I really do. When it's been too long, I will beg her to make that. It's, oh, I mean, it's right on up there with chili as far as I'm concerned. Mm. But it's one of those things her family learned when they were in the bomb shelters under London or well, in her case, Portsmouth. Portsmouth got hit really hard by the Nazis. To I don't I don't know what to say.
He's talking
Okay,
about his daughter.
daughter is 24. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh, look at me. Right. Um, I'm an old guy. I mean, seriously. Um,
Not as
I've
old as
got
I am.
I've got stories about me being an old guy, a really old guy,
That's
much
why we
older
call
than
you an
him.
old god of Appalachia.
Exactly. Apparently, I have been, if not appointed, anointed. Um, Liverpool was second most hit. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah. Uh, London had the blackouts to try and stay away from the bombings, but a lot of people got evacuated to the countryside. Um, Portsmouth, when we visited in 2010 or 2011, they were still bomb craters. I mean, seriously, there were still bomb craters. And we'd walk by, go into the high street or go into the grocery store, and she'd go, Oh, I used to play there. It's a freaking hole in the ground, honey. Yeah, but I used to.
Yeah.
It was our playground.
Mhm.
Yeah. I finally mentally I grasp it, but emotionally, how the hell do you not only survive but raise a family in that historical context?
Because it's not exactly history to those who are living there. It's everyday life.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's got to. Excuse me. That's got to be it. I mean, history isn't history for the ones that lived through it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's only history for the ones that study it later.
And hope they
Um,
learn something from it.
um,
Well, the ones who study it usually do. It's those who refuse to
yeah,
even
I
think
I
about it that are doomed to repeat it.
I have truncated that quote several times. Family were from there, yes. Mom's side, dad's side is Liverpool. Yeah, they were not spared either. But no, when it comes to that famous quote about those who study history are doomed to repeat it, I put a full stop period after doomed.
Yeah.
True.
I don't include the rest of it. Um, you're not repeating it. You're just too stupid to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, if if the Cuban Missile Crisis had gone differently, my family would have been living in more than one ground zero. In the Knoxville area, dad working at Oak Ridge. Absolutely no chance of survival. I mean, we would have been ashes and dust. And there would have been people in the hills protected from the blast that would have still gone on with the exact lifestyle that they have had since the 16 and 1700s.
Mhm. You want to field Civil's uh, question there? I don't
Um,
think. No, I don't think you have to.
Supposed to watch on another channel so Mike Jimmy can shut. No, no, no. Mike Jimmy is free to come and go here. It's all being recorded for later. Um, it's absolutely fine. What you're watching is what we are doing right now. We are live
Mm-hmm.
for another
But
11
Yeah.
minutes. But no, Mike Jimmy's got his own channel. Anything you need to see is on that or the
Oh,
is it
he's streaming
Independent
on
Comics Network?
who? Mike Jimmy?
Uh, yeah,
His is
he
Fairies and Ants, and he's probably streaming to that.
yeah, he
well,
is.
no, he's on his own channel on
Mhm.
YouTube, and he's on uh Nita and
Okay. Oh
Daphne's
yeah.
network as well. I think that's
I don't
Independent
know.
Comics Network.
They've changed the name so often here lately. I'm about to pop little Nita on the head. They
Better
changed
you
it
than
3
me.
times since the beginning of. I ain't afraid of that little Southern gal.
Little
I,
feisty
I had to stop
lady.
and think. This is recorded. This is not the green room. Can't
Exactly.
can't call her what I'd call her to her face because I'd say it to her face as well as here.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she would enjoy it, and give as good as she got. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. I could look it up. I mean, seriously. Um, I'm only subscribed to
Well, like I said, she's changed it
800
like
different channels.
3 times since January, and it's always just like one word different. I'm like, Nita, choose one.
3 times in 6 months. That's like basically every 2 or 3 months you're going to change it again.
Mm-hmm.
Indie Comics Network.
Okay.
Yep. Uh, and now get and now all of my YouTube is reloaded.
I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it.
I won't. You
It
know I
ac-
won't.
it actually finally gave me a link to my own damn show, and
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens in about 9 minutes, TJ.
Yep.
well,
Because I
oh,
believe Mike Jimmy was off to feed Aurora and
Yep.
change the
yes,
diety.
and change diapers. Yes,
Change the nappy.
nope. And Mike Jimmy does his own show. Usually,
Hung on Animation is Thursdays at it's noon Central Time here in the States. I don't
yeah, I don't know what time it is for him.
they're what,
Um,
7 hours, so 7 o'clock at night for them.
I don't remember whether it's 7 or 5. Um, Call it 6 and round it off.
I'm going to have to catch that one of these days, but I'm usually either working on Thursdays or writing.
Yep.
Never paying attention.
Okay, it's almost 9 in the morning over there now.
Oh boy.
And it's almost 2, so 7 hours. I was correct.
Yep.
Yes, I've got all my worldly people on here. Amsterdam, Winnipeg for Willow, London for my buddy John, Vancouver for my folks that live out there,
Mm-hmm.
Berlin for the hell of it.
Oh, yeah. Mike Jimmy does the co-broadcast from his own channel of when he's on here. It's a StreamYard thing. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
3 a.m.
TJ,
So Silvar's on the
I am
East
a
Coast.
she. Yep. Time is, yeah. 8 a.m. there. God, it's only 3 a.m. my time. 1 a.m.
So 8 a.m. you're around London area somewhere.
Yep. Time zones. Well, they can't be the same all the way around the world, or everybody's clocks will be really fucked up.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm looking forward to somebody finally going, we're not going to do daylight savings time anymore. We're just going to change the time to 30 minutes up away from real time and leave it there forever. And the rest of the world can cope. Uh,
I mean, there are already places here in the U.S. that are like, no, we're not going to do that. You can just piss off. We don't.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're lucky,
I
TJ.
think I think Arizona is one. Whole UK is one time zone. That lets you know you can walk across the entire country in one afternoon.
Just
Um,
about.
you don't even have to walk fast.
Unlike the
Uh,
States where there's 4 time zones and that's only continental.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, really, that doesn't count Alaska or Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Um, I once did a map in real scale comparing the entirety of England to U.S. states people around me would recognize. And basically, you could fit the entire UK, or the entire England, Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Scotland in between Miami and Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's only 3 states. It's
Would it all just
11
fit
or
in
12
Texas?
hours driving time, but
Would it all
uh,
just fit in Texas?
oh, of course it would fit in Texas.
There you go. Or Alaska.
I mean, half of Europe would fit inside Alaska. Uh, good Lord. You could fit everything inside Hawaii. Of course, most of it would be underwater, but
Yeah.
uh,
Let's see. It's 54 and sunny in London.
oh, yeah, there is a reason for daylight savings to keep congressmen having a job. Um, originally, it was so farmers had to teach their cows to go, I'm going to give milk an hour earlier today than I did yesterday. And I'll get used to that for 6 months and then I'll go back to the other time and we'll see how that works. Clue, it don't work worth shit. Only a politician would think you could cut an inch off the bottom of a blanket and sew it on the top and think you've got a longer fucking blanket.
You got 2 minutes.
Oh, I do.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Well, and when the company is good, as it has been tonight,
Yep.
thank you very much for being here. Thesis, I don't know if you're going to get an advance warning when I upload everything tomorrow. Just around 9 p.m., 10 p.m., start checking Aphelion.
Okay.
After Cryptid Crunch.
Yeah, definitely. After Cryptid Crunch.
Well, that gives you a time thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's on from
Yeah.
8 to 9. Okay, that's over with. Time to look for Aphelion.
I should be
Yeah.
home from work by then, so that'll work.
Yep.
Do you work 7 days a week?
No, I'm basically 1 day on, 1 day off with basically every other day. So
Oh, okay.
1 week it'll be Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then the next week it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That is a very unusual schedule from somebody that used to work at a factory working very unusual schedules. Yeah. Let me go to Brand here and get ready to play the outro. Um, Donna, Thesis, thank you for being here. Mike, Jimmy, thank you for being here as long as you were. Uh,
Max,
Everybody in the comments, thank you.
Max, sorry for the ban.
Yes, Mac, I've already apologized publicly in writing.
Yeah, but you know we got to tease you about it.
So I do stupid shit from time to time. I'm an old man. I'm a man. What do you expect?
I do stupid shit from time to
Nothing
time,
more,
and I'm
dear.
in my 40s, so stupid shit is kind of universal.
I have been known to ignore women flirting with me. How stupid can I get?
Uh-huh.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, and sorry I don't have any words of wisdom, but the bedtime story does have a few.
Yep.
Good night.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. 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 System will shut down.
Hello, I'm Dan Hollifield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Aphelion Webzine, the world's oldest free creative writing e-zine since 1997. Since then, we have helped over 500 amateur writers learn what they needed to turn pro. www.aphelion-webzine.com and read not only what we've got going on right now, but 28 years worth of our archives of stories. Thank you very much.